I'd like to welcome everyone to the Sheridan Redevelopment Commission meeting for March 24th. Before we get started, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And it appears all commissioners are in attendance, but before we get really going, we have a swear-in for Rhett Williams. No, he's on camera right now. Sure.
I state your name.
Rhett Williams,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge my duties as a member of the Sheridan Redevelopment
and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Sheridan Redevelopment Commission
according to the law, to the best of my ability,
according to the law and to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Do what?
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. All right, now that we have 5 members officially, first item that we need to take care of is we currently have a vacancy for vice president. So I will open the floor for nominations for vice president.
I'll make a nomination to nominate Garrett Gossard to serve as vice president of the Redevelopment Commission.
Is there a second?
Yes, yeah.
Are there any other nominees? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to close nominations.
I so motion.
Nominations are closed. I don't remember exactly. If there's nobody else, how do we
Just, you still need to go ahead, yeah.
take a vote? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are no other nominations. Entertain a motion to confirm.
I'll make a motion to confirm Garrett Gossard as the vice president.
I think we already had a first and a second, so we just need to take a vote.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All in favor?
All right. All in favor of Garrett being vice president of the Plan Commission, sorry, Redevelopment Commission, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Yeah. Congratulations, Garrett.
Thank you.
All right. Minutes for the January 2025 RDC meeting. Do we have them?
We did have.
Okay, I remember. February was the one we didn't have.
Correct.
If everyone had a chance to review those, I will entertain a motion to either amend or pass.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the January 2025 2026 RDC meeting.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the January 2026 RDC meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Consent agenda, the RDC annual report. We just have to acknowledge that we received it.
Yes.
Okay. So we don't have to do anything. All right. We did receive it. I did see it. Going to old business, Sheridan Facade Improvement Grant Program update.
We are.
Yeah. Hi, Cindy Keever, President of Sheridan Main Street, Inc. And we are not bringing any payouts or awards. Spring seasons when everybody's firing up again. I sent you electronically an update of where we stand right now. And I sent in an email to you. It shows you what projects you had closed, what projects you have opened. I brought some print copies just because I knew there were 2 new members and they maybe hadn't seen that. On the second page, I also made sure that I have talked with all the owners of the open projects just to see where they stand. So that's new information there for you. Since we have a few people in the audience, I will just, I'll direct your attention to the second page. And there are the open ones and where things are happening. The 2 that we'll see the most movement in this spring, summer, 301, that's the old Ben Franklin building. That front is all framed out underneath that tarp. The door is ready to be put in. It will take till the mid-fall. Hopefully we have good weather for the full facade to be painted, but I expect to see that done in the fall. 305 South Main is, for some of us, it's AJ's. That scaffolding went back up. I talked with Zoe. She's believes they are going to get started on that. The first thing is to replace those windows, and then she'll start working through it. And their plan is still the full award that they have. I think she says she's working with this crew, and she's finding them to be a little slow, but we're both hoping that that's done in fall too. So those would be the 2 things that you see. And as I always do, you'll see there's an update. There's about 22,000 out of the 200,000 that is not committed, either expended or committed. Of that one, there's one thing I'd like to direct your attention to in the committee, and I'll work on this. I reached out to them. The building, I forget which 408, I think, but the Target Sports Building owned by Phil Sack has had an award open since 2024. And the reason the award's open, most of the work got done except the 3 windows had to be replaced before we would close it out. I did reach out to the assistant of that owner and said, it's either by July or we're going to close it out. Now, my guess is they're on to bigger things out at Sky Lake that might get closed out. So, and then the only other open item, we'll just have to wait on 311 South Main because, as you know, that owner is in contention with her contractor, and there's some legal proceedings going. So right now you have 22. My guess is you could maybe having 40 if those 2 things have to get closed out at some point. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Move on to new business. Approval to advertise request for proposals to construct parking lot at 5th and Georgia.
Joe Miller, Banding Engineering. Appreciate the opportunity to come up here. Had been working with the council, and I'm not sure how many of you were able to look at the packet online that had Todd in there. I brought a few printouts if you want to see them, but there's a parking lot proposed at 5th and Georgia, just east of the Greek's Pizza, essentially kind of extending that parking lot further east over to Georgia. It's a little bit more than a 1/4 acre. We've got 19 spots available. 2 of them are going to be handicapped. And we expect the quotes to come back at less than 300,000. And so we would like to work on quoting this. We'll work through Mr. Kirby and work on getting contractors notified of this opportunity. Additionally, would like to do 2 bid alternates for the alleyway between the hardware store and the town hall. More so to get a really good solid number, but if the prices come back in as good as I expect, or I hope, that may be something for you guys to consider. So the award will be based off of the base bid, which is just the parking lot at 5th and Georgia. The alternate would be an additional, and you guys could choose. We're going to do 1 alternate that is all concrete and 1 alternate that is part concrete, part pavement. There's concern with being close to the hardware store about getting a paver and roller right up there next to there. So that's kind of why I'll pull it back. So, but I'm not sure when you guys regularly meet, if it's on this cadence monthly, or you guys have,
We meet monthly as long as there's something on the agenda.
okay.
So, yeah.
I think a month is enough to get stuff back from contractors. Typically, 3 weeks is something this small. I think they can do pretty quickly.
Okay.
But we'll work with Mr. Kirby, and we'll be able to let you know pretty quick if we think when we get feedback that they're going to need another month on there. So, Mr. Bragg, I would assume I would just correspond with you
Yeah.
and let you
Yeah,
know.
You reach out to me and I always get with Todd to get it on the
So
agenda.
the effort is to get at least 3. We want to get at least 3 quotes back so we can, we'll contact more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I had a quick
This does
question.
require action, so go ahead and motion second and a vote.
yeah,
So real quick, I spoke with Todd through email today.
Yeah.
Just questioning. And he said that it may have been cost prohibitive to do something a little bit more permanent along the back of the parking lot where the fence is. Due to the condition of the fence, is that correct?
So the fence that's there now is not on
Correct.
the property.
Mhm.
So would work, essentially, we were working with Cy.
Okay.
on, hey, how do you want to do this? What do you want to do? You're going to have, the way the parking's situated, you're going to have bumpers kind of over the edge of this thing a little bit.
Okay,
Like it's pretty tight in there.
sure.
We got shrubbery in the landscaping plan.
Yep.
We
And
didn't,
I think that shrubbery is included along that back row by the fence
yes.
as well, correct?
Yeah, we offset it a little bit so that the bumpers could stick out and
Okay.
hopefully not hit it all that often.
Okay. That was another concern. If cars went too far, were they gonna be damaging that owner's fence?
Yeah, I mean, there should be some,
Setback?
should be, they should stop. There's a curb and other stuff there. So,
We can hope.
yeah, I'm not, I don't, you would have to ask an attorney for the liability for that, but I would hope that curb would be sufficient to
Okay.
keep people from going into it.
yeah.
No,
I think it looks good.
yeah, I like the, especially that we're adding some handicap access
Mhm.
to the parking lot as well.
Yeah, we had a special request because of the large vehicles that are typically in here to
Mhm.
kind of have a Costco type little side thing so
Sure.
people can chew up a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So
And this also includes new sidewalk along Georgia Street for the
on,
parking
yes,
lot.
the whole length, the frontage along the roadways are all getting new sidewalks, which is it's needed.
Yeah.
really bad.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. And then the exit will be one-way exit out into the alleyway between Greeks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Looks good to me. A big improvement than a vacant lot.
Yeah, and,
So,
Well, and we saw the need for it last night, so.
yeah,
and just so you guys know, there is a council's kind of working through, there's a couple charging stations they're wanting to get over there, kind of on the northeast side too, just in full disclosure. So that's getting worked on through Duke Energy. So we're setting this thing up to be able to have conduit and other stuff to be able to facilitate that in the future.
Any other questions?
um. So we need a motion to authorize the bidding of the project.
A motion to authorize, a motion to authorize the advertisement of RFP.
I will make a motion to authorize the advertisement of the RFP for the parking lot project in Fifth and Georgia.
For a second.
No second that.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve to advertise for the RFP at Fifth and Georgia. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheridan Alley Art Program. That you guys,
Are we on the agenda?
you are on the agenda. I mean, you don't have to say anything, but you are on there.
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't know that it's on the agenda. Yeah, let me put you on the Sheridan Art, First Art Alley.
Cindy Gear, Sheridan Main Street. Just a real, in seriousness, we're doing great. What we are happy about at Sheridan Main Street Inc. is the community buy-in. It was really important to us. We needed to get the 50 to get the other 50, so we have 100 to put over that alley when he pays it. You know, I've been yakking at Joe about that. So here's where we stand. What you see on our website and on our thermometers they are entered in, but we also have money that has been pledged to us. The way patronicity works, it cannot go into that website till it clears through the bank. But we are at 40 and we probably are at 45. Counting some grants that we've gotten and some of the big donors and some commemorative donors there's a level called the philanthropy level. That's 5,500. You go on a plaque. Those are coming through, but they're typically coming through foundations and they're holding up. So that's what we know. So what I can tell you is our personal goal at Sheridan Main Street Inc. is we'd have 200 individual unique donors, not counting grants. And we think we're going to get that. If you haven't gone out to our website, SheridanMainStreet.org, we're running a ticker banner thanking everyone. It was our intention that we don't care if you gave $10, you gave 5,500, you gave 10,000. You helped make it, and it recognizes everybody equally there. We're pleased with that. The timeline is we have to have donations in by April 30th for them to count toward the match. If you haven't done yours yet, do it, because that will be important so that we don't have any glitches in meeting that match. As of May 1, we'll know if we met the match. Our coach, we have a coach with patronicity, says it turns around very quickly. The arches are ready to go into production. The benches are ready to go in production. The mural is being designed by the end of May. Melinda Skirkup is heading that up as a committee. We'll have some design possibilities. The mural won't go in until we have paving, or Joe and I are kind of talking about how it might go in without paving, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of paving is going to end up being there. But I believe we're going to meet the 50. I believe on May 1 we'll know that, and I believe we'll see the 3 arches this summer. And that will then have lighted that alleyway at that time. Do you have questions about that?
No, sounds
Anything to
great.
add? Did I miss anything, guys? No?
So you said you're already at 45,000?
No, 40.
Oh, 40, but
40.
yeah,
I
that's
believe
fantastic.
we are. And I'm not telling you maybes. I'm not telling you
Yeah.
someone we talked. I'm telling you, yes, it's coming through ACH, it's coming through our foundation, it's coming through that. When we add that in, that's where we are. We think on April 15th, let me tell you a minute about Celebrate Sheridan. If you remember, we did that last year. First Lady Braun was here. We have a Celebrate Sheridan. You'll be getting an email. We have a Celebrate Sheridan coming up this April 15th. We believe, knock on wood, that we'll be announcing that we met our goal at that dinner. That's what we'd like to do. If not, then we'll be there saying, take out your phone. And here's the donation site. It'll be one of the two things.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
On on that note, Cindy and I have talked a little bit, and I think that it may be appropriate for the redevelopment commission to make a contribution to the donation. I spoke briefly with Jim this evening about it, kind of looking over the annual report. I don't know if we can use allocated facade improvement grant dollars to do that.
I am going to caution you.
Okay.
About taking action on that tonight.
Okay.
Only because of parking lot and some other things that you've got going.
Okay.
I mean, in reality, when you look at the spider, which is where most of this money would come from. You started the year with about $900,000. You'll add $2 million or $200,000 plus or minus, so you'll have a little like 1.1.
Okay.
Right, available this year. You're talking about $300,000 for a parking lot, $100,000 that you've added for the facade, so that's 3 or 4. The town, I think, is bringing to you the UDO update next month, which is about another $100,000.
Okay.
The transportation and comp plan that are coming through are another $200,000. So you're spending about 7 of the 9 that you got.
Okay.
So I just caution you before we go, even though they're little amounts, the things that you're considering are big amounts and will be impactful. All for years to come, but I'd rather work on some cash flows before you decide. And the next meeting will be prior to.
April 30th.
April 30th.
Yeah.
So if that becomes an issue, then it could.
And in that projection, Jim, do you see us being able to allocate additional funds to the facade improvement grant?
For this year,
Correct.
other than the 100 that you've got in the budget, I would be hesitant.
Okay. But we are out, we do have an additional 100 allocated for this calendar year.
There's $100,000.
Okay,
Oh, I didn't know that.
okay.
No, I mean, I understand the sentiment and I agree. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with the expertise over there.
You're smarter than I am. so.
For me, the year 2026 is going to be the year of no.
Okay.
It's gonna be a lot of no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll speak for,
Well, can I ask a clarifying question? If, I mean, I totally understand it, I appreciate that, but if you approve some donation at your April meeting, can we get a check in that day?
so it gets.
Because the proposal doesn't do any good. We have to
Well,
cash
no,
it.
I don't know about that day because the clerk won't be there, but I would think
But a
we
week,
need on to within 2 days.
okay.
So the donations
It's
are,
more of a clarifying question.
Yeah.
so the donations are due by the 30th.
April
The
30th.
Meeting on the 28th.
Yeah.
So I would ask Liz, do you feel that 2 days after a resolution's passed that we could have a check issued?
And I will also work with the coach that we work with. She did say the Indiana Housing Authority is a stickler. That we don't want to be $1 short and we don't want to be 1 hour late. That's how she says it to us. So we'll keep tie watch. First of all, I do, just speaking for the group, we really appreciate that consideration. This is a hard-working group. This took a full team. And we are proud that we're at 40 and we'll probably hit that line. So, any other questions about the airplane?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy.
That was the last item. I know, Andrew, you want to discuss some things.
Yeah, I had sent an email again, also maybe restructuring or rewording some of the verbiage in our Sheridan facade improvement grant and the terminology for the application. There are a couple things that I don't think is ready to actually discuss, but I'm gonna pass around to the commissioners, legal and Todd. Some of the things that I think we should consider is, we do have one application that we approved but have not yet paid out, where work has not been completed. My concern is if the building is even insured. We're using public dollars. If we invest a significant amount of money of public funds into a building that potentially is not insured, what's the recourse? Unfortunately, if the building's destroyed, we've lost all of our time spent, money spent, and efforts in that building. So potentially looking into having an insurance clause in the application, as well as then looking into a preference to approvals for occupied or inhabited buildings on Main Street. And maybe setting a preference over those buildings or to tenants that are planning to have owners that planning to have tenants after, a completed awards cycle. So, but I'll work on that. And then I think that'll probably be next meeting that we can better discuss.
All right. Is there anything else that the commission would like to discuss? If there is not, our next meeting is Tuesday, April 28th at 6 p.m. right here. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.